Welcome, friends. How are you guys? I see a few of you guys in the comments saying hi. I appreciate that so much. A few of you guys are definitely mentioning whether it's cold or warm. 'Tis the season, right? No, I really do hope all of you guys are at least staying warm and safe. I know there's a lot of weather things going around all over the place. So more than anything, that is my hope. And it does give us a good reason to just kind of stay inside and scrapbook a little bit, right? Now, I know how crazy December is. It's a super busy month. It's always kind of packed full. The schedule's full, but creativity, it just feels good to still feel it, squeeze it in there. I've been thinking about it a lot, just how emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all the above, it really helps reground me, recenter me. And because of that, I can't express it enough how valuable it is to squeeze it in. But you could do it in little sessions, right? Like it doesn't have to be this big blocked out time on your calendar because the reality of that is just very, very slim. And so we want to challenge that and present here at Kiwi Lane this scrapbooking rhythm, right? That we talk about often every month. This is something that we also showcase in Kiwi Club, but this is so valuable as a scrapbooker myself. Just knowing how powerful this hobby is, it's such an important rhythm to adopt. So if you have not fully adopted this, I hope that you trust me, give it a try, okay? And see the effects that it has in not just only your emotional and mental states, because life is full of lots of ups and downs, but ultimately being recentered on gratitude, recentered on what matters, the things that are in our scrapbooks matter to us. I mean, it's amazing when you can look in your scrapbooks and see what really matters to you. That helps you realign goals, realign gratitude, realign, just all of those things that are so important to our own health, hope, and happiness. All right. So with that said, the scrapbooking rhythm, we kind of start with designing with purpose or picking with purpose, right? Because the creative process as a whole is much about gathering ideas, okay? And then, or whatever, supplies, options, what are you going to gather together to rearrange them, so to speak, in your own version, your own fashion? So that's kind of the first step. And so we did that. We did that in the Mix and Match Monday. In regards to scrapbooking, that could be a matter of what pictures are you going to scrapbook and what paper you're going to use. Really, honestly, you don't need to overthink and think about every aspect. It's just a few variables like that to help initiate and kickstart the next of the decisions in the creative process that kind of you want to. It's not even kind of, you want it to come in a flow state. Okay, so I will say, I was looking back, I apologize, the Mix and Match Monday, it's really not a big deal, but I was like, oh, it was kind of a little all over. But I hope that you rewatch it because the content itself, the principles are still there. And the outcomes, even as messy as it can be sometimes, do come together. And I will say, after I slept on it and things, I'm really excited about this paper and I have it laid out. That brings us to today's event, which is designing with direction. This is where, it comes to, okay, now that I have these choices, what do I want to, how do I want to design this? And luckily, I will just say this, luckily, we have some kind of framework to work inside of. And I will tell you right now, like a simple method to be that foundation that you build off of is transformative. All right. It really helps in this stage of designing a layout, right? We avoid looking at an empty page. The frameworks that I am talking about are featured sets. So today we're going to be spotlighting those. If you don't have, or these sets specifically, we spotlight different ones every month that you could add to your collection here and there throughout each month. And we'll put that in the links in the comments, okay? So make sure to check those out. Those are spotlighted over on our website, and they correspond with these series of events that we host every month. So I am going to be pulling on those, okay? I really don't have a design in mind. We're going to explore that together, and we're going to keep it as real as possible. As far as thought processes, emotions that you might be going through, and outcomes, how it always comes together. So with that said, we have mini photos, Jolly, and Everett Drive, which I'm so excited to create more with Everett Drive. This is like a new one from a few months ago, and yeah, I'm so excited. So guys, pull it out. It's seriously rewarding to create with. And then I might even throw in Mary, which is one of this month's Kiwi Club kits. For those of you that are club members, it really just takes those feature sets, rearranges them, and enhances a page in a fun fashion. I'm really looking forward to the PJ Playdate. We got a whole week. Last week, we took off because we were at our anniversary. David's over here. And so this week's packed full. And I just want to express really quickly before we jump into it, we have this special going on. We call it Createmas, right? We've been spotlighting different companies, but inside of that, we want to share some different inspiration. So we're going to be filling your email inbox, for those of you that are subscribed, with literally just that, ideas and inspiration. But here's the thing. I was talking about how busy December is, right? And, you know, we just want to make sure that inside, just because it's a true fashion of Kiwi Lane, that you feel supported, that, you know, that you feel this joyful progress even during a busy month. And the inspiration that we'll be sharing this week throughout Createmas campaign is really not just for December. And I think that's something that we all know about, the magic and the joy and the reason for the season, right? All of that we love about December, making those memories, being with family and friends, and just, you know, really feeling that in the air, these are all meant to carry us through the new year, right? So it's not just for December. And so these ideas, these inspirations, whether you get to them now or you get to them next month or the month after, we just hope that they inspire you to make the time, start with that, right? To get back to your scrapbooking room, take it in phases if you need to, like the Scrapbooking Rythm teaches, and also complete a few pages. And if it's scrapbooking past holidays or these memories from this year, we hope that they inspire you to do just that. All right. All right. So let's jump into it. How about that? Let's jump into it. So right off the bat, like I talked about, these featured sets, I always like to show a few variations because it just really showcases how amazing it is to be able to play to create, and the ability to literally play your way to creativity. Like, how do you want these pages and these memories to be showcased? So with that said, let me take you for a quick field trip. We have these sketches. I thought for the first layout, I would go in phases. I would show from, like, if you're more of like a quick sketch idea, that's great. We also have these sketches for club members, and there's so much more. So there is no limit on inspiration. And that's definitely something we want to provide with our products, to support our products. So we're going to go on a quick field trip here. I'm going to show my screen. Over in the community, we have the sketch of the month, right? And like each month we have a different sketch. You can see even this one's really fun. It uses actually some of the Kiwi Clip kits, but you can also incorporate the featured sets and things like that. So I loved that, how this layout was so cute. Kind of shows you before and after. So let's quickly take this design. I'm going to use the featured sets, and let's recreate a version like this so we can see how quick and how not complicated this has to be. We do not have to overthink this. I know for December we've been focusing on a lot of less overthinking, more creating, right? So, okay, let's go ahead and go back to the down view here. If I have a sketch, it's super easy for me to kind of start that. Now, of course, like any sketch, especially if you've been scrapbooking for a while, you know you can adapt it. And a lot of times, especially in the photo areas, you can adjust it if needed. So I'm going to pull out my photo sets and just kind of start with those for now, because I'm using that sketch that I just shared with you as a springboard, as a reference. And this specific sketch had it like photos all the way down, but you know, it had 4 3x4s coming down here. And if you want to change it to 3 4x4s, that would actually do the math for a 12x12 spread, right? You could change it to 1 4x6 and 2 3x4s if you would like. So it's just a variation of how you want to adjust that. And I will just say the photo sets are amazing that way. Now, it also had a fun one tucked in here to kind of fill in a little bit of that space, add another photo to our layout positioning here. Now, this one didn't use any borders. Of course, I naturally love borders. And Everett, I'm dying to use it as much as possible because I think it was just because like every layout I remember creating with this when we first launched it literally brings joy to my heart. They probably are among my favorites. I don't know, maybe it's just the season I scrapbooked pictures, but how easy we can quickly, even on something like this where you see photos, they're in a photo lineup positioning, and you can take a quick border, and instead of having straight lines, right, which often we see a lot of samples like that, you can add a little bit of movement. Really simple, really fast, really quickly, not technical, no heavy lifting. You know, a lot of that thinking is already kind of pre-done so that you can really just jump in and play. So I'm going to move this one over here. Now, in that sketch, we had 2 photos over here as well. Whether you do 4x4s, 5x4s, 4x6s, adjust it based off of your needs. All right, a little sun coming in, which I'll take the sun because I really like the sun in the winter days.
Good for the soul.
Yes, it's good for the soul. Okay, and then I loved how even, again, we're going to tuck some photos in here, right? Now, why I love to start with photos and a framing with our borders is because that automatically brings to the surface maybe these other spots that you want to add a little bit of elements. I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh, I struggle at whether it's photo placing or it's, you know, embellishing your page. I think either way, if one of those are your struggle, I hope that by showcasing the photo templates being kind of that first building block, along with whatever layers you want with your frames. And a lot of times your photos will show opportunities for you to add a little bit of movement with the borders or other layers. And this really is step 1, step 2, step 3, meaning start with a few and be willing to discover and explore, which is all part of the play. And each layer comes as you lay one and then you lay another. You do not have to be like, wait, I have to have it all figured out. It really is a 1, 2, 3, whether it's from the elements on a page, borders, photos, embellishments, or it's a layering 1, 2, 3. First layer, try adding another layer, right? We could, oh, let me grab my thing here. We could easily, let's see here. Ooh, Ripple. This is a vaulted one from my past club kit, but I will say, like, when I'm talking about that layer, it's add 1 layer. You can try and add, that's kind of cute, dang it. Add a second layer. And when the clubs, I mean, the featured sets, because that does help give me that, I only pulled out the feature sets, would help limit my decisions. And then I may be like, you know what, I really do want something extra there. I might be in the mood for extra layering. I might be in the mood for just a little bit more depth to my page, or need or want. And so 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, backtrack if you don't like it, Okay, I did. If you're like, nope, I don't like it, then you take away and you play again. Okay. Now back to the other step, which is the embellishing elements. So that sketch, and we can throw that here. Let's throw that sketch up one more time, Dave. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay, so just to kind of peek at that one more time. So we had some cute little decorative elements here, one here, and here. Well, you can't see my hand, sorry. You have top left, middle bottom, top right. This is creating a triangle flow on your page. So,
and you're talking here about the embellishments.
Yes, the embellishments, the clusters. Yeah, the little accents, the little elements, whether you're building a foundation with ornaments and then pulling in some stickers because they give them a structure to work inside of. We're going to talk about that. I'm going ahead. That last detail, the final stage of adding little bits and pieces from your stash, that's at the 10 and done, which ironically is today, later today. So we are going, like I said, we're kind of fitting everything into this week because we took a little holiday. So, well, it was mixed with work, unfortunately, but still we had some behind the scenes work that we're creating that we needed to wrap up. But
now we get some concentrated creativity.
And now we get some exactly what he said. All right, guys. Okay, so let's go back to our design here. I may not want the owl. I may choose to utilize that sketch, but play with some other alternatives. So right away, David's being our screen person here. If you really want, you can hold that paper up if you want. There we go. To kind of experiment with that. Gosh, guys, if you don't have the club sets, you don't want to miss them. Their name is Merry. Because they really are merry. They're just so joyful. I loved how the ornaments were over here. I thought that was really fun to kind of have, I don't know, ornaments are just so fun. This one is really cute. And that's what, instead of using it with the tag in the sketch, it just used the ornament itself. Now, granted, that is kind of cute, where in the sketch, it didn't have the tag, but
because it is technically an ornament.
Yes,
it's hollowed out, so it works in that little cluster of ornaments.
But it also comes across the photos right here, so adorable. Okay, adorable. And then maybe you could put the owl down here if you wanted to do that. You don't have to do a trio. Our minds visually are attracted to threes. So that's often why it's not just in scrapbooking. This is a principle for art. It's a principle for, right, with a lot of design principles. And we're just kind of refreshing those principles to help give us those side rails.
Pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, they're just pleasing to the eye. So a lot of times when you're like overthinking or something, like these are common principles that can really help you to just count on, to depend on. Now, with that said, balance is also something. You don't have to go always a trio, like a three sectional thing. So easily I have a balance from left to right, and that's also very calming and pleasing. So those are a lot of times when it gets to this phase of designing a layout, those are things that I'm definitely thinking about and that I encourage you guys to think about. Balance, symmetry, trio, like those are the basics. You don't have to be too out of the box or think anything like that. I think even this little poinsettia, if you don't use the whole,
that's holly, huh?
Sorry, yes, holly. You could just use the top part, which in that sketch, we could pull that back up one more time. You'll see that on the left, it used the whole branch, but on the right, it was just using the top of that design. So versatile, adaptable, play, discover, just have fun, right? And within minutes, even with kind of working through the thought processes together, really within minutes, we have that game plan, we have a nice visual, and we can really go to that third step of the creative rhythm, where we get to, take all of these ideas, these papers, and put them in our scrapbooking rhythm. So we get to finish it, right? We get to bring them all together and get lost in a lot of ways in the creative flow. Things may adjust, things may pivot, things may come up that you'll have to like problem solve. That's all part of the creative process. And it's so valuable to work through those things in our hobbies because those same patterns, the same things that we find in the creative process, we find in our everyday lives where we may have made a plan and it might pivot a little bit, adjust, rearrange. Those things happen, right? And I share that because that's why it's so valuable for our brain to work through it in our hobbies. And so I'll continue to preach that as long as I can, because I think it's so important that we really, really get our priorities on not just I'm behind on scrapbooking, I'll never be caught up, but just on how impactful something like scrapbooking, where you take tactile play and you combine that with memories, and it just really helps with the rewiring, with the reminders, with the grounding, as we reflect on the good things in our lives. But as we go through life, it helps us to constantly stay within those patterns as well.
And to lock them in.
Yeah.
Back in the day in the family, we've got readers and writers in our family. We used to think of it as a plot twist. And so whenever something got thrown at us in life, we would just go plot twist.
Plot twist.
We would try to figure it out from
yes.
But
that's it.
It is cool how when you practice these things in a more sort of low pressure, low stakes environment, like in your hobby in scrapbooking, it still builds those muscles. It develops those things so that when it spills into your career or your home front, you're still kind of limber in terms of creativity in a way that is prepared you and strengthened you to be able to also pull those techniques, those sort of mental techniques and habits and rhythms into your everyday life.
Absolutely.
In a powerful way. And so that's what's so cool about hobbies. Susan and I geek out about it together.
I know sometimes I feel bad, but I'm not going to feel bad anymore, guys, because this is something that in the industry itself, like I'm just feeling like more and more and more, this hobby just deserves so much more credits than the ideas or the pages that we finished. There's so much more that we gain from it. And beyond just the commentary of like, well, I'll never be caught up. There's so much more that you're gaining than just calculating how many finished pages you did.
Mm-hmm.
So getting lost in that flow state is going to serve you 10 times more in a lot of ways. But surprisingly, it's not one or the other. The other one comes naturally. Like you start, if your goal is like, well, I want to finish pages, like if you kind of recenter on just why you love scrapbooking and how you want to embrace that feeling that you get more through the creative process, like you can have both. All right.
And then also getting the pressure out of it, which is so great about this sort of a program, because if there's, too much overwhelm and too much decision fatigue and too much stuff going on, and it starts to feel like a lot of pressure in your free time, in your hobby. And so
it was never meant to be there. Yes.
Tools and methods that help to sort of vent that pressure and sort of lower the stakes, help you get back to just feeling joyful about everything again. That's so important. That's what I love. That's what I love about what she's doing on the page right now. So it's kind of cool. We took kind of a creative springboard of a sketch idea and we combined it with these designer templates. And it's kind of awesome to me, like to see that, that it's different. You use that as a springboard, but with the right tools and the right methods, you very quickly created something that was still you in a really cool way, but also felt fun for you to do and kind of fun for me to watch. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fun to watch things come together. It's satisfying to watch happen.
So listen, there's so much more, and we can't not talk about those things because it is what's behind the Play to Create system. That's what's really happening when you're willing and giving yourself permission to step back and really like take this step that in the scrapbooking rhythm, this design step, just give it 20 minutes of your time of just playing, discovering. And like I said, it really can be based off of the sketch. If that's where your comfort zone is, let's go that way, right? That's a variation of how you can quickly still come up with the full scope of a layout. This is not permanent. It can be adjusted. There will be things that come up when you start to pick papers, when you start to lay pictures naturally, but at the same time, the blueprint's there, and that's where you can pivot. That's where some creativity decisions come in, and all of that is so honestly beautiful. It's beautiful.
And so much fun.
And so much fun.
It's fun to do.
Yeah. So now let's go from a free.
Speaking of fun,
yes.
Sorry, not to talk too much.
Mary, watching you from Line Tower of the Terror in Disney World.
That's interesting.
That is hilarious. I love it, Mary.
You may be on the ride already, but good luck.
I don't know. Those lines are pretty long, I'm sure.
That ride in particular is the one that ruined my son for rides for a while.
Yeah,
So
we have a story there for sure.
Another day.
Mary, I'm so excited that you have some memories. I think Ripple needs to make a comeback. It is so cute on the layout. It really is fun. It's a fun trail that is really, really fun. I know it was an early club set, which is why, again, if you want that extra support in helping you gather this rhythm, to help you practice this rhythm, the Kiwi Club is awesome. We'll put the link in the chat here, guys. If you're not a club member and you've been kind of sitting on the fence trying to decide, and you're like, what is it that I'm actually going to get to it? It's going to be extra support in this rhythm, extra consistency to help you adopt this process more. If you've been kind of like picking at the process a little bit, and that's totally normal, by the way. I just hope that you do kind of consider the club, because then you get to practice it more and more until it kind of becomes part of your natural method when you sit down to scrapbook. And so we try really hard to add that extra layer of support in the club. But ultimately, we want to support scrapbookers wherever they may be in their journey as well. So
at Human Unearth also said, so true. If it's not enjoyable, it's not a hobby. So,
yeah. And I think a lot of times with the hobbies, or even scrapbooking, if I could be honest, okay, for just a moment, the industry, the season, whatever it might have been that contributed to this, a lot of scrapbookers that I talk to really, a lot of their focus is either on like, I'm a collector, and we make memes about this. We kind of, make it, I don't know, lighthearted, and so to speak, that part of my hobby is the collecting aspect. That's not the hobby, okay? And I totally understand it. I went through that phase too. There was lots of products and all these things, and every time I would think, oh, if I bought these, then it would help me get back to scrapbooking, or it will help me feel more accomplished or feel more creative. And it just wasn't, because honestly, at the baseline of that is a system and a method that you can depend on, which again is going to naturally help you start to use some of those stashes in ways that bring you joy, right? So not this year, but the year before that, we were like, hey, we want to help you fill your closet. We don't want to fill your closet. We want to fill your albums with finished pages. All of those ring true in ways that we want to bring back a little bit more of those priorities in getting back to scrapbooking, but consistently in a way that works inside of a busy life. So once again, that's what the Scrapbooking Rythm is all about. I know we're chatting a lot today. I'm so sorry. But maybe it's the end of the year. Maybe it's about it being a new year. Maybe it's just because I'm like, we just came off of a week about how much I was thinking about. I just really love this hobby. And another thing that makes me sad is when I hear scrapbookers talk about they get burnt out or they feel in a rut or things like that, which again could be a lot of like overflow from life and stressful life. And I get that too, that we feel like, well, we can't be creative if we feel stressed. Fight that feeling as well, because it's actually when you need it most to get the cortisols down, get the stress levels down.
Can be an antidote to stress.
But having a method, once again, that you depend on, I have seen be so instrumental in helping me do that.
Right.
Yay! Lisa said she used her 40% off. Did we mention that already?
You know, I popped it up briefly
Oh,
a second
okay.
earlier. I'll throw it back up here real
And then
quick,
let's
just as a
create
reminder.
one more layout from a free play point of view. I showed it from a sketch point of view. What I want to do is just do more of like a full-on free play if you're not using a sketch or you just want to really grow that muscle. All right. So
And
yes,
the sale is 30% off holiday inspired.
so
sets.
30% off holiday inspired sets. We will put that in the comments as well. The link to that collection.
And also 40% off one item regular price.
Yes. And then we were like, you know what? Let's throw a little special gift. We're so grateful for you guys for creating with us throughout this year, being here in the community, and being willing to listen to our rants.
Also, also this comment, human on earth is a person, because I used the handle a second ago. Jerry,
Yes.
I'm gonna assume it's pronounced Jerry. Jerry S from Midwest.
Oh, Jerry.
Thanks for that. It'll be good to put a name with the
I'll try to remember. Okay, so we put that in the chat. Feel free to, like I said, we understand like these holiday sets are, you may get to your scrapbooking room. I'm going to get to it Friday, but next week, like next week is packed. Like there's the scrapbooking room will be shut, but I do need a little bit of recharge before that. So I plan on scrapbooking at the PJ Playdate this Friday. So with that said, like I told you, it's these inspirations, these ideas, these methods, these rhythms that we teach. Whether we're doing a Christmas layout this month, they can really be there. You can use them next month. You can use them the month after. So carry that joy and those memories. Of course, we want to carry those into our scrapbooks when you get a chance. So, but they can be done in phases. So 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 20 minutes of picking paper, 20 minutes of designing a layout, and then probably about an hour or so to finish it. That's the truth. That's later today, the 10 and done event. We're going to take these ideas and go with it. All right. So really quickly, I know I kept you guys long enough. Let's go back to our layout. And when David was talking, I was looking at my layout thinking, I need some photo mats. So if you don't have the photo mat sets, can I just say, I know we don't spotlight them tons, but in a situation like this, where we have this layout where we had the photos and we place those there, but then we come back in with the photo mats and we be selective on what pictures maybe we want to mat. And I saw an opportunity here and here, but I love the photo mats because it's not a matter of, do you mat your photos or do you not mat your photos? Like it's not an all or nothing, and it doesn't need to be that way. I feel like a lot of times in the scrapbooking industry, we hear it from that perspective. It can absolutely be, again, about the impact of the design that you're creating. And so in this case, where I only matted a few, but I didn't mat the others, it becomes part of the design decisions. And it's, I think, so fun to play and experiment with, okay, which photos, if I matted my photos, can I do? So if you don't have the photo mat yet, I hope you take advantage of the 40% off coupon and jump over and heck, get them at 40% off because they're a great addition to your tool. But I will also say, if you're like, oh, I have everything, we have some amazing paper kits over in the holiday collection that are on sale. Or you can use your 40% off of another kit in the shop. Or I love to have 2 photo sets. It's like one of the sets that I recommend having 2 on. So if you haven't really taken that leap yet, just tell me, or trust me, if you love to add a lot of photos to your layout, it comes helpful. It's another one that I would encourage you to use your 40% off coupon on. Okay, let's go ahead and clear our little board here. Now I am going to be scrapbooking later today. Is my plan to use the paper that we picked. David's using one of the sheets to help block out the sun a little bit. I'm going to use pictures of my grandson. And I have not yet printed them off. I did this great tutorial for club members. Every month we also talk about pictures and tips about pictures. And so we have that. If you're a club member, that was yesterday's event. And that's up. So just so you know, we put that replay up really quickly. And I talked about the process in printing the pictures. So I'll share that more in today's later event at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So point being is that I have a lot of pictures to choose from. So in this case, I'm just going to design my layout because I have so much to choose from, because I showed how to like take one picture and make 7 out of it. So let's just say I have a lot of pictures, okay, of this little guy, and using this process that we taught in the Picture Perfect on how to do that. So I feel because in this situation, I'm going to kind of just play and see. So let's, again, if I was going to free play Everett Drive, 3B, 3A, again, if you guys don't have this set, another great opportunity. I'll just say Merry Christmas. It's our gift to you. Okay, go take advantage of it. I love this new kind of experimenting. I hope you guys enjoy it too, with some options where you can put journalings or photos in there. So fun. So I'm going to take, because they're an A-B, when I'm designing my layout, I'm going to put one over here and one over here. And I'm going to actually come from that perspective.
I'm going to throw a question at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
While you're doing this, Dawn asks, when you create, do you make design decisions so that a person's eye flows left to right or to the center of the pages?
Ooh, good question. For me personally, I come from a left to right. Yeah. I don't come from a center. I actually do come from a left to right. And a lot of times, even with how when I print my pictures off, you know, especially if it's a sequence of pictures, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this has happened. I make sure that I also say, okay, I want to start with the first picture we showed up at the event, and then this happened, and this was the end of the event. So yes, I tell my story from left to right, personally, when it comes into play.
Other ways to do it for others as well.
Yeah,
that works really well for you. Probably one page layouts differently than
one page layouts. I mean, it's really one page is like okay, Dave.
No, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
Well, I mean, it's really it's center fold. Or you're following an offset where you put it here, or you put it here, which is an offset 3, which is basically in photography rule, but you can apply it to a layout too, where you can either be centered or you can bring it down. You can even come up is usually how you apply it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but you can really have fun where you put a little bit of photos here, and then, you know, I mean, this would be like a true simple kind of style look, which you see a lot on Pinterest and things, where it's like minimal pictures, 1 or 2 pictures, which is really cute. Personally, I never have just one picture unless it's like a random selfie. So like that would never 100% work for across the board. I can absolutely still accomplish it with the designer templates, and easily. Oh gosh, guys, we could put another ring around this and we're done, right? Like, okay, let's go back to my layout that I want to kind of work towards. You know, a layout that I was thinking about, because this series of pictures where I'm just capturing, I'm like literally different. They are just different screenshots of his expressions, which is what this event, of course, was all about. Getting different expressions from one snapshot. Great tips there, guys. Go check them out. All right. I was thinking about, you know what? Yeah, there was a layout that someone put a picture in the Jolly. Oh, it's in the community. I'm gonna.
That community is super, super useful. If y'all,
her layout is coming to mind, and so like I'm gonna go quickly. It wasn't until just now. Like I was like, oh shoot, and I'm gonna give her a shout out. So let me go refresh my memory where that was.
So much good inspiration in there, though.
Here, go back to screen share.
Okay.
I mean, there really is. Like, there's new ones from today that I'm like, oh, I didn't even see that. Pamela, how cute is that? Oh, so cute. Good. Okay. Yeah, the Jolly here with the layout down underneath. So cute, Beth. So cute. Love it. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
You
so
guys
good,
are
so good.
killing it with these featured sets. Oh, yes. Spotlight is a must.
Hmm.
Okay. See, you can really start to reach out and see what others are doing
So many good ones.
by. I'm mostly just scanning really. Okay, here, Heidi. Okay, I was like, what was her? Who did this, Heidi? Look at how she put the picture in the Jolly set.
Yeah, that in meaning the big ornament.
On the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, isn't that fun? So fun.
So fun.
So little shout out to Heidi. That's probably what, a 5x7 picture. My home printer doesn't print a 5x7. So Pammy, how you can find the community. So community is open to those that are customers, but if you're a customer at Kiwi Lane, meaning you have placed an order on our website, you should naturally get an invitation to the community. Sometimes people miss it, or they miss the initial transfer when we went to the community. Email support@kiwilane.com. They can send you that link again, but it is by special invitation. But like I said, usually it triggers once you place your first order. And if you haven't placed your first order, like, again, take advantage of our 40% off one item and these holiday sets that are just so inspiring and super fun, and give them a try in that regards. So super cute. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay, back to creating, guys. There we go. Okay. So when I saw the Jolly, I was like, oh, that could be really cute. But I also love the Jolly because of that. You know what I might do? I might keep these. They're a little too much for me altogether. Oh, I love all the circleness about it. I actually love how that, see how that comes. You can have it not be tucked, so you can just choose to cut only part of that Jolly when we get to that point. Or in some ways, when I'm designing, I'm also making that decision. Do I like it coming out this side? And I'm just saying a mental note. You don't have to make those decisions yet. That will be the third phase of the creative process. But it is kind of fun seeing the behinds and the layers, bringing it to the front, bringing it to the back. That's all part of layering too. Okay. So many options. So hands down, I'll just say right now that because even with just the 4 or 5 sets that I have out, well, I only have I have Everett and Jolly and Mary. It can still provide, endless design options just with these sets alone that I could create. Oh gosh, honestly, I don't even think I could create probably 100 layouts. I'm not even joking. I really think I could do it. Like variations and designs and things like that. Okay. You guys had me thinking about Spotlight. I might have to pull Spotlight out. Ooh, that's kind of cute. I love those between the two. That's actually really fun. I have not done that before. All right. And then maybe we even put a little one over here. So you can see I'm kind of building from a frame point of view. So the last one I built from a photos placement because I was kind of using a sketch to help me kind of figure out, because that's what I think we mostly see about sketches is how the photos were placed on that layout. Maybe you see it differently, but I feel like that's often what I hear scrapbookers talk about, like how many photos did that sketch use? Where did they put it? So that's why I like sketches, is from a photo placement point of reference. This case, I might choose to build the frame and then add the photos to the frame. Neither one is wrong or right. So you may choose to come from it from one angle on a certain time, and then another one the next time you sit down to scrapbook. But ultimately, I would still encourage you to go the extra mile in regards to trying to build out, where you can, a full layout concept. A lot of times when someone first tries to first starts to try to adopt the play to create system in their scrapbooking rhythm and habits, because they're so used to doing it in their head, they tend to still try to like cherry pick and do sections at a time, which again, that's fine. But there is something when you can kind of reach beyond that and just say, okay, I'm not gonna, even though this is super exciting and you want to just like dive in and start creating that, there's something also saying, okay, let me work in the other pieces, at least a draft version that kind of just pushes you beyond trying to still continue to do a lot of that overthinking in your head. You know, I see an opportunity here, and I'm looking at this. I love this little, almost like bookshelf that this creates. Now, I will tell you, I have my photos and mini photos mixed in together. So I'm kind of pulling from photos and mini photos. This is a 3x3, which is kind of a little smaller, 3x4 kind of standard size, and things like that. One of the things I was working on last week is a slim photo set. Coming soon, guys. I shouldn't give you a teaser like that. But I was drafting the last elements on it. We might have to just do a pre-sale on that day because I'm so excited about it. And people probably want to like lock in their game. Oh, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I wish I had it right now. I wish I did. It's hard to keep the stuff that I know in my head. I am doing that thing.
We distract you with the question from
yes,
Lisa, who's asking, can you remind me what home picture printer you like?
Well, I can remind you which one I use, which is the Canon Selfie. I bought it 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 or 7. I'm just kidding. My kids are going to be like, why did you use that?
You just said
it's 6 or 7 years ago. Oh my gosh. Kids. I don't like this. It's not working for me. So,
but there is another printer that.
But Epson is the other one that a lot of people.
Epson.
Yeah, Epson, and a lot of people talk about that. Let me grab those links for you guys, and I'll throw them in so David can put them in the chat. Those are the most two common ones I've always heard about in the industry, in the community. My daughter Abby, who's just getting into scrapbooking the last 2 years. For her birthday, her husband bought her the Epson. So,
our grandson is awake now, is up and excited out there.
Yeah. But hopefully that helps you. I know that's a common question a lot of people ask, and I've always talked about it. It's not necessarily cost effective, but it is super convenient. So, I enjoy having it. Okay. So I will focus in, guys, and we will wrap this event up. I did not like that. And the beauty of it is I can still, I don't know, just see what I can come up with. Okay, so I think one of the things that I want is across photos. I think that's because these pictures are a series of pictures, I want to align them in that fashion. Let's go ahead and, again, take this opposite side. It will, for the most part, on the borders, especially the signatures with the A and the B borders, should match up on one of those ends if you choose to do a crossed border design. Okay, so again, thinking about my pictures that I know I'm scrapbooking with these, there are a series of sequence pictures of Caleb doing different smiles. So in a lot of ways, similar pictures, but different because I'm capturing his adorable smile in various ways. I do want to use Jolly, so I think I might throw Jolly in here. This also balances it, kind of the circle feel, left, right. Oh gosh, I just love this. So sometimes we do that. But I really love it. I really want to use it. If you don't use it on this layout, just remind yourself you can use it on the next layout. So don't try to push everything into one layout. A lot of breathing room gives a lot of focal points for narrowing in. Too much on a page, you almost don't know where to look. Your mind is overwhelmed. It's like, which part of this do you want me to focus on? So if that helps to kind of give you permission to let there be white space and breathing room, it really has another benefit, which is to kind of add to the flow of the page that we were talking about. I kind of do like that. I don't know, Dave. What do you think? Is that weird? Does it look like a face? I'm trying to think here. It's like eyes and nose, but I'm like, I don't know. Something about this kind of being tucked in.
In templates is going to look differently than when you created it out of 2 different colored and pattern papers. I think you'll end up looking.
I'm gonna try this really fast. I'm gonna put this one up here and then tuck this down. Nope. I'm gonna bring this back. I like that there.
Yeah, that looks good.
I'm going to put pictures in here, pictures in here, pictures in here. And if I need more, which I don't know if I'll need to have necessarily. You know what? Let me just pull this little silly face, this owl. Okay, you guys are probably like, what is she doing? She just destroyed her whole page. Again, I'm thinking about the event later. I want to end on a design that that's kind of fun actually too. You know what? The ripple. No, just kidding. Oh, you know what? Look at this sketch. That actually, that has a cross designs. It has a spotlight in it, the thing. That could be really cute too, but I really liked what we had here. That was fun. So I might put this little guy. I don't know, because I want to create with him. And he's just playful and cute. And we can really dress him up with the hat, which Caleb's wearing the hat. And just kind of has a playful feel about it. And I think that could be really cute with these pictures of him. But I need to find a space for him. I'm not going to lie, as much as I'm like trying to hurry up and end on an end zone here.
Jerry says, I like how you show that you modify your scrapbooking sort of layout because you're not happy with it, even as we see you as the expert, showing you kind of mixing and moving and saying, nah.
Yeah.
And Linda also saying that I'm enjoying watching you create and the changes that you make. So.
I loved it, but I'm going to sometimes in writing, this is what they call it. And I use it all the time in scrapbooking. You got to kill your heroes. You got to be willing.
Murder your darlings.
Murder your darlings. So as much as I'm like, at first, initially I was like, but I kind of evolved from there. This one took precedence. And so I'm like, nope, I got to kill those darlings. That's adopted from writing philosophy.
It sounds terrible, but
those dang writers are always killing people.
Yeah, we're very dramatic.
Yeah.
Very dramatic as writers.
I like this layering. I might have to find a way to balance it, but cute. How cute could that be? Here on that.
I kind of liked it there.
You liked it on the other side?
I think it's really cute.
Well, this is a heavy layering. If I did it this heavy over here, I would need to
pull something pretty heavy.
Yeah, over here. On the left. Yeah. No, I could do it center here. You know what this is making me thinking of? The layout I want to do with my Kiwi Club kit. But I'm not technically, I got a little ahead of myself. I'm scrapbooking with the paper that we picked for this month.
But you did come up with 2 designs today. So
I did come up with 2 designs.
Choose one for this and one for your play date.
I did. This is my play date. This is Friday's layout. Done. Check. Take a picture. My computer's about to die again. Anyways, we'll wrap it up there, guys. But it is very much enjoyable to kind of play around with different designs. You know, when we were picking the mix and match, remember how I was sharing well, you know what? I'm going to spend 5 more minutes and then I'll let you guys go. Because I'll be honest, I was thinking about the Kiwi Club paper kit because I had this in front of me and I was like going into that mode. And I was like, son of a gun, that doesn't match this paper. That's for this series of events. So I got a little ahead of myself. So I got to design something for this paper. And you saw me struggle a little bit with it, but I'm determined to push through so that we can see, again, real life situation. So this one has a little bit more maturity to it, right? I I think the Jolly still works for this. I don't think the owl does. So Kiwi Club members, stay tuned. You're going to see this layout come to life on Friday. Yay, I did some of my work. Let me actually take a picture of this. Give me a second. And yes, if you want to remember a layout, just snap a picture. Snap a picture of it.
Carol says, I enjoy your live streams. Thank you for doing them.
Good.
Linda says, just do both layouts.
No, I can't do it both today, but I will do one today and one on Friday for PJ Playday.
Brenda says, I'm loving the squealing in the back. It makes my heart happy.
The squealing. He's just found his voice lately.
We spent some good quality time with him this morning. It's too cute.
So can I be honest? We're going to switch gears for 5 or 10 minutes. Bear with me. Because when you pick paper like we did in the mix and match, and you saw a little bit of the in-betweens, well, I actually picked a few paper kits, but I think I'm settling on this pack that we built. It was my favorite. We're going to, and this is part of doing it live, okay, guys? But the only reason I have the option to do these things live is because we have these awesome method that allows us to do this type of live, real scrapbooking in real time. I'm going to switch gears for just a hot minute. Jolly works as the featured set. Mary, some of the elements work, but I don't think the owls were going to work. So I was pulling in the owls, forgetting what paper I'm going to use, and that's not going to work in this case. So I want a deer. I think a deer would be super cute. So I'm going to go to my DT checklist. If you do not have this, go to your app store. This is free. You just search Kiwi Lane templates, DT checklist. Okay. Kiwi Lane template.
It's Kiwi Lane checklist.
Checklist.
Kiwi Lane
Thank you.
I think is what it is.
I'm going to go down to search and I'm going to click on deer. Okay. I have a few options. Ooh, that one's cute.
It's pretty good holiday look.
Yeah, that one could be really fun. There's also this one, which is more like the head of it. I really like this one. It's in nature, not seasonal, because it's an animal. So now I'm going to go to my templates. Dave, you can show place for me. I'm going to go to my templates here and find my nature section, themed adventure travel. I might have those still in my to-go thing. I do. Okay. So, oh, you know what? I should use, oh, there we go. Okay. Yay, they're all together. I must have thought about that. Okay. So I have this deer. I apologize for those of you that may not have it because it is a pass vaulted set. Okay, this is going to add to this feel that I have in this paper. Actually, it's kind of cute how it follows. I kind
of loved it. Yeah, like almost leaping over. It's like a flying ring.
We can almost do multiple. I know, right?
Little Santa sleigh reindeer.
Yep. I don't know if I want to do the head. I just want to do the one. Okay. Next, we're pulling away from the featured sets. Okay, guys, because of what theme we chose to do for this month's series of events.
Linda's saying to pull that pine in.
Yeah, I was thinking the pine, but you know what the other one, because I'm looking at my paper, I see trees, I see stems, I see deers. A lot of that inspiration we can pull from our main pattern. All right. And so the next thing I want to search is, let's say, tree. Click to search. Okay. Ooh, we have lots of options. Simple Life, which is one of the sets that are 30. Oh, I love Simple Life. We're just going to go with it.
That was the answer.
Yeah, like I love.
Immediately.
No, I mean, I'll finish my options here. Like Silver Bells, super fun too. But now I'm going to go to seasonal, which this is a new thing in the app. if you organize them, see right here, it says accessory seasonal. So for me, that tells me where to go look. I'm going to go to seasonal, and then I have subcategories of my seasonal: fall, spring, summer. And we just posted that in the community, this article, which I'll go back while I'm finding that. Under organization, actually filter it, Dave, one more time.
Yeah.
Under here, under organization. Oh, where did she post it, Abby? Oh, that's about inserts. We'll push it over here. It should be under organized, but maybe she posted it under. Anyways, it was a new post about the app. Yeah, it should go under here. So we're going to put it there when I get a moment to go back to finding it. Okay. Stay focused, Susan. So much did you know is happening. I was about to pull out winter, but that's a real teaser for those of you that might not have that one.
Right now we're tracking down Simple Life.
We're tracking down Simple Life. 100%. There we go. Thank you.
It's a great set.
Ooh, Rejoice is another cute one.
Too many good options.
Lots of good holiday ones. I'm going to play with Simple Life because this one is still in the shop.
I'm now imagining that tree, and I think it does fit the vibe.
It does fit the vibe of that paper,
really well,
right?
That particular version of that full sort of fir tree vibe with the holiday.
Honestly, I wouldn't even need too much more than that, but I think it's kind of fun. I like the rest of this Simple Life. I know, he squeals.
He's full of energy this morning. Kathy says it would be nice to have some of the vaulted items available again.
Always. I know. It's why we vault them, though, because that shop would be overwhelming, more overwhelming than some of you guys. All good things have to come to an end at some point.
So that they can come back to a beginning again.
Yeah, so that they can become back to a beginning again. Oh, I love this. I love this set. But again, I'm like sitting here trying to work. I don't have to force everything into the layout. So remember that. You don't need to force everything. I kind of like that extra layer there. So we're going to go with that and see. I could choose to.
Yeah, do it split down the middle.
Okay.
I like that actually.
Yeah, and then do that. Again, you may come up with this game plan when we get to our papers. We might be like, I have to adjust. And I will say right away, when we were working with this paper that I had in my stash, I think it's going to come together. I already knew I had to choose to select some other papers to come in, which is where these came in, because they didn't quite have complementaries, unfortunately, in the pack. Like they didn't have the supportings in the pack. I had to go combine it with some other. We're going to come back to that, guys, which for that purpose, I need to let you guys go so that we can go eat lunch, regroup, get a few more things done that are on my list. But today is a packed full day of events. So because, like I told you, because we had to fit them all back in for the holidays, I was just also thinking of mementos. I don't know, because of the series of pictures, if I really wanted to add more pictures.
Yeah, that could be an option.
I'm doing 2 layouts with the same pictures. I'm going to do this series of pictures with this paper. And then I'm going to do the same series of pictures at the PJ Playdate with the Kiwi Club kit. So that would be fun. That would be fun. So with that all said and done,
this is pretty.
This is a layout that I feel really good about. I actually like, I don't know if you can call it simple, but it is kind of simple. I like the simple touch of it. I think it actually matches this kind of vibe of the paper a little bit. I'm not quite sure how you explain that style, but it's like, I don't know how you explain that style of that paper, but.
Sort of it's sort of like country, sort of the vintage
Yeah.
country, but there's a realism to it. So
Yeah.
it's less,
And so the
less
simplicity
illustraty.
helps. Yeah, with it, like more illustrated, sketchy.
Yeah.
So
you're very welcome, Carol.
I'm excited to see how this turns out. Join us back again at I think it's 3 o'clock. We're going to do our 10 and done event. All right. So let me do another quick field trip here for you guys. I was still trying to find that article. My brain gets so fixated on Kiwi watching through the date. There's so much news and information in here.
Good stuff though.
Events. We're gonna go to events here, guys. Oh, Kiwi Clubs. We're gonna see you guys at 1:30 here really shortly. All right. And then that's for Kiwi Club members. And then we got the 10 and done. And let me check what the 10 and done's challenge is. This is the last step of this flow. You may not do them back to back like we're doing. Like I said, you may do it 20 minutes, and it might go over a span of a month like it typically does with these series of events. But this month is scraps. So I might just go throw in some black glitter paper from scraps and other things. So I'm going to go grab some scraps to add to my paper selection and see what little fun details we can have with that. So either way, if you don't have Simple Life, come back and join us because I'm telling you, it's one of my favorites and it is one of the sets that is 30% off right now. So don't forget that. We'll throw that back up here one more time. We have for this week only, we have a few holiday specials on holiday sets that we have very limited of in the shop, but we want to make sure that, that you can add them to your collection, not necessarily to scrapbook now, but when the season's over to carry all of this joy from these memories that we get to live and embrace in December into the rest of the year. So make sure to check those out. And then also as a special gift for just being here and creating with us this year, we wanted to give you guys all a special 40% off one item, regular priced item, whatever you want in the shop, go pick it out, take 40% off and use coupon code MARY40 at checkout for that specific one on that offer. And we'll see you guys really soon. All right. Thanks again for hanging out with me and keep playing to great. Bye now.